If you're at eXp Realty and you are focused on building your revenue share team, then you want to pay close attention, because in this video, my business partner, Pat Hayes, is interviewing Mike Sherrard, and he has personally enrolled over 100 agents in his first 9 months. Yes, you heard that correctly. Mike has enrolled over 100 agents and his team is growing globally. So he's going to be sharing with you the groundwork that he had laid over the last 4 years to really get him where he is today. Obviously, there is no overnight success story. Mike's going to really dive into those details of what he did in the last 4 years that really attributes to his success with eXp Realty. So if you're getting value out of this video, be sure to hit that like button and share this with your team members as well. I hope you enjoyed the interview.
And let me just go ahead and just introduce this rock star here. And I'll tell you what, take some notes, guys. Get a pen, get a piece of paper, whatever you want to do. This is being recorded. But let me introduce our rock star. All right, so Mike Sherrard is a top producing agent in a massive eXp revenue share organization builder from Calgary, Alberta. In his first 9 months, that's right, in his first 9 months at eXp, he personally attracted over 100, that's right, 100 FLA agents, and also focuses on properly educating realtors how to build their business the modern way using social media. In the last 6 months, he's trained over 3,000 agents to leverage social media, and currently has one of the fastest growing YouTube channels in the real estate industry. So without further ado, my good friend, Mike Sherrard. Welcome to the call, Mike. How you doing this morning, my friend?
Good, thanks, man. Super stoked to be here with everybody, and really excited to share some of the things that I've learned, and honestly, and I'll get into this, but a lot of the success that I've had has been due to selecting this group, right? I've learned so much from having Connor as my sponsor, and I'll get into some of the stuff that I've learned, but I've grown as a person more than I ever have in the last 9 months than years that I've been in the real estate industry. So having the right team is incredible. So I'm grateful to be here to share.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, we're excited about it. But first off, take us kind of back, take us, back to, why did you get into real estate? Tell us about yourself. Everybody wants to know who this rock star is. I know you've got an amazing resume. You're an amazing trainer, amazing mentor to these agents and to your team. But kind of take us back, kind of walk us through, whenever you're growing up, you've got that entrepreneurial background, that entrepreneurial spirit. And your energy is infectious, and I just love talking to you and helping you out. But take us back and tell the group kind of why you got into real estate and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, man. So it's been quite a wild ride. I never thought that I'd get into real estate and become a real estate agent. But to give you guys some context of where I started, I was a mechanical engineer. So I took 2 degrees in 3 years at university. I took mechanical engineering and something called technology management and entrepreneurship. And I moved across the country to Calgary, Alberta, to be an engineer. And I did really well in my first year as an engineer. I was ranked the top employee of 60,000 at a Fortune 500 company. And they sent me to meet with the managers and put me on this accelerator program saying, Mike, where do you want to go in the company? We want to help fast track you there. And I said, because I like the idea of entrepreneurship and getting compensated based on your effort, that I wanted to get into oil and gas sales. And they sat me down and said, with the GMs, no problem, Mike, the quickest we can get you there is 7 years technical experience. And I handed in my 2 weeks notice the next day. So after that, I really wanted to learn marketing, branding, and sales, but loved the idea after reading, typical books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what real estate could offer. So looking at it as a low barrier to entry and something that aligned with the passion, I got into real estate. So I was 24, didn't know anybody from this city, had no experience. And I just realized that I had to do anything and everything to make this work. So I got my license February of 2017. Right now it's -20 here in Calgary, and it was back then too. I door knocked every day for 3 hours a day, 7 days a week for my first 6 months as a realtor. But then I started realizing that the importance of leverage. So that's when I started looking at leveraging modern strategies and realizing that, kind of wraps its way into this brokerage, which is, time is the most precious commodity in the world. You can't buy it back. And when I was door knocking, I was getting a shit ton of listings, but my business was only growing when I was putting boots on the ground. So that's when I started looking for leverage and using social media. Now, I quickly became a top producer every year since I got my license and was at a really great brokerage. But then I started realizing that my influence was just building my previous brokerage, and I wasn't doing anything for my own business. So kind of fast forward to 2019, I kind of had a coming to Jesus moment after reinvigorating my conversations with Connor and saying, coming into 2020, what's that look like? Okay, I did 16 deals my first year. Keep in mind, I'm in the slowest market in North America. Less than 30% of listings sell. Did 42 deals my second year, did more deals in my third year. So what do I do now? Try and spend, instead of 100 hours a week, 120 to do 5 more deals, 10 more deals? Like what kind of future does that look like? Because I got into entrepreneurship to build a lifestyle, not to build something that I can't step away from, not to build a business that I'm on a hamster wheel my entire life. And I started realizing that my past brokerage wouldn't give me that opportunity. So kind of signed my LOI with Connor in January and came guns blazing into EXP. But I just want to talk about one thing before I kind of, go back to you, Pat,
Yeah.
which is the trajectory of the sacrifices that I made, because this is something I put out on my Instagram stories that I really want people to understand. I took a very unorthodox approach, which really helped me with EXP. So yes, I joined April 22nd of 2020, but I've been building my personal brand and my content and my knowledge and skill set for the last 4 years. So to give you some context, did really well in my second year. And then in my third year, by 2019, I basically said, instead of trying to scale my transactional business, I'm going to intentionally take a step back, do less deals just to put out 3 videos per week for free on my YouTube channel with no expectation. I had no idea when it was going to pay off. I had no idea how it was going to pay off. But when I looked at what the most successful people have done in entrepreneurship, they've always committed to a process that works, knowing that if they're consistent, it will come together. So I did half the production my next year, made over $100,000 less, had half the transactions in my second year by putting out free YouTube videos that got less than 100 views per video. But I knew that that was the start of a process that would grow into something bigger. And again, at that point, I was even talking negative about EXP. I had no idea about the company, but that set me up for success for when I came. And I think that's something that not a lot of people take note of, is I developed a skill set over the last 3 years and put in the sacrifice to, instead of doing that extra deal, putting out more content. Instead of doing, going out on weekends, honing my craft and learning Facebook ads. Instead of going away on vacation for summer, I started learning funnels and communication skills. And then when I came to EXP and aligned myself with Connor, who is the biggest master of understanding how to creatively tap into consumer psychology, behavior, handling objections, and curating a message that will help people understand the opportunity, it was game over. And it got to the point where now I've got on average 15 calls a week from agents coming through my content in order to partner with their team. But people are looking at me now saying, Mike, how can I do what you're doing today? You can do what I'm doing today, but what I'm doing today is 4 years of relentless work that I put into my business with zero expectation of when and how that was going to play out. So people thought I was absolutely mental to go from 42 deals in my second year to 24 deals in my third year by intent and design, in order to make sacrifice to put effort into something that will actually build a scalable lifestyle in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years to come. But thankfully, with the beauty of EXP's model, it happened way quicker than I was expecting.
Love it, man. Wow, that's truly inspiring, and what an amazing story. And I know a lot of agents probably wouldn't do what you did to be where you are now. And so, this is kind of one of my first questions is I get asked a lot. Oh my gosh, wow, Mike Sherrard joined EXP. One of my agents talked to him in 2017, 2018, 2019. And I know we kind of know the story, but share the story. Why did you pick Connor? Obviously I know there's a lot of other agents out there, probably kind of relaying the EXP message not the right way. And we're trying to kind of help that and stop that and fix that. And so why did you pick Connor as your sponsor? That's kind of the $1 million question everybody asks me. Wow, you're going to be interviewing Mike. Why did Mike, pick Connor as a sponsor? So go ahead and kind of share share your story, with everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to make Connor seem larger than life here if he hasn't already been. But it's crazy because obviously being a content creator and being heavy on social media with all these lists, I'm friends with, or I at least personally know all of the top people on YouTube, all of the top agents on Instagram, all of the top ad agencies that run Facebook. I know them personally. But again, every single time somebody reached out to me, it was vomiting stats, vomiting information, saying, here's why EXP is so great. Here's why I'm going to be the best person for you. Come join the company. Sent me a templated video about EXP that's already available on YouTube. And I had a million questions and nobody answered them. And they basically just said, because of your influence in your production, Mike, come over here. It's going to be so great. Well, why and how? And what about me? And I do my business differently. So why? And the biggest thing is I've learned over the years from the right coaching that it's important to align yourself with their strengths, fill in the voids of your weaknesses. So for me, I'm already strong at marketing, branding, and content. So why would I align with somebody that is doing the same but less than I am? Whereas Connor is a beast at investing, scalability, communication, objection handling, and positioning and building globally scalable systems. The problem that I found with most people that reached out to me is they were playing a small game with a global brokerage. Connor was playing a global game with a global brokerage, right? Building out what I've realized over the years, and I love that Tyler Roeke's on here. We're both in the Arte Syndicate program. They always talk about the only way to scale your business is systems and processes. And that's what Connor and I have relentlessly built out is scalable systems and processes that allow us to capitalize on the incredible opportunity this brokerage has. Because a lot of people are playing the North American game with a worldwide brokerage. So to give you some context of what we've done, we've got this massive value stack that people get when they partner with us. Well, that's like all of my social media training, all of the stuff that I've done in English, but this is a global game. So I strategically aligned myself with a business partner in Mexico who went through 100 hours to fully recreate my training and coaching natively in Spanish, so that now whenever anybody from Mexico joins us, they get the same opportunity to benefit from our value stack. I've got a brokerage of 100 coming in from India. He's one of the top coaches in India. He's fully recreating our value stack in Hindi and Punjabi for anybody in India. So same with France, same with Portugal, same with Brazil. So I understood the power of aligning myself with a guy that simply got it and got it on a big scale, because I think this is going to be one of the opportunities that people are running. They have a choice right now: run hard, run mediocre. There's going to be so many people, even people on this call, that are going to reflect in 3 years from now when we're at 400,000 agents at EXP and be like, shit, I should have put more effort into this. I should have worked that extra little bit. I should have had that extra conversation. And that's what I don't want to do. I want to be able to look back every single year and be like, there's nothing I could have done more than I did at the end of this year. And I think this is such a ripe opportunity, but knowing that it's so time sensitive, I had to work with people that run fast, a lot of the other YouTubers are starting to get, you know, a bit of an ego, and they're feeling themselves because they've got this attention. So they take a step back because they think that the world is just sunshine and flowers, and everything just comes to them. But that's not reality. You have to put the work in. So I, you know, align myself with the first person I ever found that works like I do. And when you have two people like that, you know, there's no stopping it.
Love it. Love it. Wow. And congratulations to you, Connor. You know, I mean, you're a massive leader, and, you know, you're a runner, and you're running hard. I know you guys work very well together. You complement each other very well. And so congratulations to the both of you. And I've got two more questions, and then we'll turn it over to the audience here to, you know, ask their questions or whatnot. But so I know, and first off, congratulations on the 100 agent brokerage in India. I mean, that is just unbelievable. I mean, right there, that's life changing right there. That is truly, truly unbelievable. You know, that 100 agents is going to turn into 1,000 agents overnight. And that, you know, truly, truly life changing right there. So
that was from a YouTube comment, Pat. That
wow.
was, again, people, I get comments because you know, I've got videos with hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of views. If you go look at any of my YouTube videos, I have personally responded to every single comment on every single video over the last 2 years, over 20,000 comments, one by one, because I don't want to miss an opportunity. I saw a guy from India that commented on one of my videos saying, I love what you're doing in North America. We should talk. He was with Remax. We had no idea we were going to talk about EXP, but I presented what I was doing. And that came into the picture with EXP. Turns out he's one of the #1 coaches in India with a coaching database of 3,000 agents.
Wow. 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 Unbelievable. And so not just that, maybe just kind of share if you can. I know that we've been talking, we've got a group message going on with a lot of us in our organization. Share with the group kind of your other success as well, too. I know you've got several big KW teams coming on board, and, you know, share what you can share. You know, I know some of it's confidential or whatnot, but it's not just a 100 agent brokerage firm in India. Share the success of these huge teams that are making the transition over because of what you are doing.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, next week, I've got a team, a top producing team of 9 agents joining me from India, or sorry, from Edmonton. I've got 2 teams that just rolled in from Connecticut who are actually born and raised in Brazil. So they are putting the fire under the launch in Brazil. And then the week before, those teams in Connecticut that are Portuguese reached out to me, I had 2 teams from Portugal reach out to me saying, Mike, I'd love to know what you guys are doing. I follow you on Instagram, but we want to align ourselves with somebody that speaks Portuguese. So I was like, you've got it covered. So now what I've done is I rolled the 2 teams, the 2 separate teams in from Connecticut who joined as one and broke both their teams in. And I connected them with the 2 teams from Portugal and said, you guys sponsor these people. You guys work together to take over Portugal and Brazil. So now those 2 teams are sponsoring the other 2 teams, and now they're all coming over. I've got a Remax brokerage coming over from Ontario, and then I've got the top 30 under 30 KW agent joining as well. And I also have, you know, I'll be careful how I say this, but I've got the top producer, the only top producer from my old brokerage, who's weaseling his way into our group next month as well. So people are taking note, and I you know, I hope we get a chance to talk about the communication aspect of it and how to get these people over, because I'm not the biggest person, right? You look at other big names, you guys all know them, the Whistles, the Beers, they have way more production than me. They've got a way bigger team than me. They've got a way bigger, you know, experience skill set than me. They've got a way bigger database than me. I've never lost an agent to any of them, and I never will.
Man, that is awesome. I love it. I love it. And yeah, that's kind of my next kind of 2 questions kind of go together is, you know, again, that's like the $1 million question. Sorry, I got my dog's going. My dogs are going crazy. Sorry about that. My yard man's here. And so, you know, the $1 million question is, you know, again, you know, how do you do it? I know, just kind of elaborate. You've kind of shared some golden nuggets, you know, really, how do you do it? And then again, how do you manage this fast growth? I know you got to have systems in place. I know, you're a systems guy. You like to automate stuff, and that's the ticket right there. But I mean, how do you manage 100 personals coming on in your first level, in less than 9 months? I mean, is your phone blowing up? Do you have assistants kind of helping you out with onboarding? How exactly do you grow so fast? How do you do it? And then how do you manage and keep everybody happy?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of the growth, I make it easy for the consumer journey. So if you look at how most people, like for example, in my niche, and everybody has their own lane, my lane just happened to be leveraging social media. So when you look at the majority of people, and it's weird for me because I get a lot of messages from people saying that to them, I'm like an industry celebrity is the word that they use, but I'm just like little old me sitting in my office every hour of the day, putting out content and chatting with people. But, most people think that people on YouTube or social media are some incredible figure and that they're not going to give them the time of day or respond to them. Right. So you look at these other big YouTubers, they're all at EXP, but the consumer behavior is this person has 50, 100, 150,000 subscribers. I want to join them, but now I have to go find their email, hope to God they're going to respond to email. Then they're probably not going to be on the call with me. They'll send me to an assistant and I'm not going to meet them. So I've looked at that consumer journey and made it very easy and very relatable to people. So now people can click the link in any of my YouTube videos, on my Instagram, anywhere else, and they can book a call directly with me whenever it's convenient for them. I'm the one on the call. It's not my assistant. It's not an agent on my group, and they can join me. I've made it very easy. No matter where you find me, you can book a call into my calendar, and I will be the one showing up every single time. I've just made it easy so that they don't have to go down the rabbit hole to find me and have this limiting belief that I'm not even going to respond to them. Now, the biggest thing that I have to say, and this is what Connor really helped me with, is the ability to articulate the model. And I think this is something that's very heavily underestimated. When you're a top producing agent, or when you're any agent, when you go into a listing presentation, you're selling yourself. You are the product. The agent that sells himself the best is the one that gets the listing. At EXP, the model is the product. The one that communicates the model the best way is the one that gets the agent. It's not the one with the biggest stats. It's not the one with the most experience. It's the one that communicates all of the different value adds better. So for the first month that I was with Connor, I lined Connor up with an agent a day for 30 days. And I joined every single one of those calls and just sat there. And I didn't sit there all laid back being like, oh, this is great. Connor's taking care of the call for me. I sat there and deeply analyzed all of the one-liners Connor used. I analyzed all of the different key talking points and nuances of the model. I looked at every single thing I could find out about this model that nobody else was talking about. And that's reflected in my YouTube videos. If you go look at the video on my channel talking about 6 months of HEL ... Most think it's 6 months of hell, but it's 6 months of helping other agents change their lives. The comments on that is, Mike, you're so authentic, you're so relatable, and you give so much more depth of value than other people's videos about EXP. So I want to make sure that I understand why this model can benefit you if you care more about production, if you care more about networking, if you care more about anything you care about. I can tailor this model to benefit you. And the problem that most people make, is they do what they did to me. They come in and they lead with the stock. They come in and they lead with the revenue share. Well, if I'm a top producer and you start vomiting revenue share to me, you're going to push me away because I would more so care about the icon program. If you're somebody that is not a producer and you start pitching the equity and you care more about rev share, there's a disconnect there. The biggest thing that I do, and I ask every single person the second I get on the call with them, because every single time they're like, Mike, we've heard all about EXP. We just want to know what your group does different. Number one, I know that's a lie because you haven't heard half of what EXP has to offer. Number two, I reply to them with, before I get into what our group does differently than the rest, I have something to ask you. What do you care about? And as soon as I hear what they care about, I know how to articulate my messaging to align with what they care about. It's not about what I care about, which is rev share. It's not about what Connor or Pat or Ian or Chris cares about. It's what that individual cares about. But because most people solely care about rev share, they vomit rev share, stock, all of these stats to people instead of listening. The more you listen, the more you grow. And the thing is when I run my financial numbers and I talk to people about EXP, I do it as if the stock does not move a single penny over the next year, because I'm not depending on leveraging vanity stats and things that you're based on an SEC regulated company you can't even talk about in order to entice somebody to come. I want them to come because of the benefit of this model at face value and properly understanding it, how it aligns with their style of business. And here's the thing, Pat, I had a call 2 days ago with a Remax broker, and he's like, Mike, I don't like EXP. There's 7 agents in my city that I know about, and they all suck. They're all doing one deal a year. They have this bad attitude. They're giving everybody a bad name. It's like, okay, so what do you care about? Why are you on this call with me? And by the end of the 1 hour call, he started seeming interested. He called me 2 hours later on the phone and said, Mike, I have to give you credit. It was like art watching you articulate your answers to my questions. He was like, it was so beautiful to see how you responded to all of my different key objections and how you tailored the model to overcome them in such a beautiful way. Like, this is what's happening. The more you understand the model, the better you're going to do, but the more that you listen. And then the next step with the growth is, again, this is a global game. As soon as any country's model comes out, I study that freaking model for the next month straight. I take 1 hour a day blocked off of my calendar and I study every single other country's model. I know the exact India model broken down by rupees, broken down by lakhs, broken down by all of their different strategies. I know the exact model in Mexico broken down by pesos, their icon, their rev share, their 75-25 with the 5% transactional, and what that 5% transactional actually provides for value for the agents. The more you understand the model, the more you can listen, and the more you can articulate it to people, the better you're going to do. I even see, I don't know if he's going to say this, I see Paul on this call, who's actually an incredible guy. And maybe Paul can even say about why he's deciding to align with our group, because he too talked to a number of people, but is deciding to partner with us. So Paul, I don't know if you're comfortable with talking here, but I think you and I have had some pretty great, conversations, and it kind of segues into what we're chatting about here.
Go ahead, Paul. Take it away, my friend. Ooh, I think you're still muted there.
There we go. There we go. Thanks so much, Mike, and thanks much, Pat. Yeah, I've been talking here with Mike for the last week or so, and we were approached by, like Mike said, even by other EXP agents as well. And like Mike explained, it was a lot of vomiting about the stock and about revenue sharing, but it was never about what really fit for myself and a team of 9 agents. So, talking to Mike made us understand the model that really worked well for myself as a team leader, for our agents, and how to grow and how to expand. And so by understanding the model in its complete entirety, we realized the potential of growth, and also not just because, like, there's a lot of team leads out there with big teams, which I know personally, who, it's the team leader who benefits from everything. And my vision, even for, 4 years ago, I had this vision of exactly how EXP is modeled. And I always wanted something where our agents could also benefit from, where they could grow as well, not just one person at the very top building a massive enterprise and being the top of, of all the marketing, of all the, the branding. And then that poor agent, if he produces or doesn't, or he leaves, he's just got nothing to go by his name. So when Mike and I started talking here, He found what really worked for us, and he catered and customized it to our needs and our wants. And because of that, we, and I'm a very analytical guy. Mike knows this. I even built a stupid, crazy spreadsheet on all your model and how that all works. It's this crazy calculator. It's insane. But ultimately, nothing really mattered to me that other people were saying, because they were just showing me their stocks. They were just showing me how much they've grown. And I'm thinking, okay, well, it's too late for us because your stock is through the roof. So why am I going to come in? Like, what's the point? So Mike really dived into the basics with us. And by doing that, it gave us a full understanding of how we could grow, not just because of stocks, not just because of, revenue sharing. It's deeper than that. And I think that, and I was talking to another gentleman as well just yesterday who had called me from EXP, and he said, we're having so much trouble trying to get people to come in our city of Edmonton. And I said, no, I'm going to tell you why. Because nobody understands the model. Everybody just jumps into, look what I got, look what I did, look how I'm growing. And it's a lot of I. And there's a very little amount of what's in it for you. How can we help you? How can we help you grow? How can we help you understand? How can we help you evolve? And without that understanding, I turned it down. I could have joined a year ago. And I was like, no, because someone had told me it was going to cost me $30,000 a year to be a part of EXP. And I thought, what lunacy is this? So, understanding the model, and Mike's been very patient, and we've done a lot of calls and Zoom meetings, and we're getting very close now to, making a transition here. And we're really excited. And Mike, asked me to be here today. And I love everything you've said here today, Pat. I love everything Mike has shared here today, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I'm super excited because Paul is incredible. Paul is just like Connor and I, so we're going to be having a ton of incredible conversations. But again, it was the fact that I always try and just ask, what do you care about? And I will tailor this to exactly what you care about to make sure that this is for you.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it. And thanks, Paul. Thanks for being an amazing special guest. And, look forward to hopefully working together soon and, having a lot of fun. And, you're in great hands as well, too. So, well, Mike, I've got one last question here, and then let's open it up here. And this has been an amazing interview. My phone's blown up with text messages saying, oh, my God, this is the best interview ever. Great nuggets. This call's on fire. It's great. And it is. And one last question from me. So I know you're a hard worker. I know you like real estate. It's your passion. I know you love helping people. You're a servant. You're a helper. You inspire a lot of people. You've got infectious energy. I love it. And I love being around those kind of people. But what does Mike like to do on his downtime? What are some of your hobbies?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy because especially with working on my new program, I get up at 4 a.m. every day and I work till 11 every day, 7 days a week. So my passions, my hobbies are, I love mountain biking. I love fitness when we can actually go to the gym, hiking, doing things in the summer. So now that I've built out systems and processes, I do have, this model allowed me to create the lifestyle, that I've always wanted. I've got my dream custom purple Lamborghini arriving in a month and a half from now. So this summer I plan to take some drives through the mountains, and hopefully Paul can come down and we'll go for a rip together and just create content and have fun with it. But, again, people have to realize that this is no joke. This, yeah, it's cool to have 100 agents, but what you guys have to realize is, let's say it takes an average of 2 calls to get an agent on. That's 200 hours that I've relentlessly put into having calls of people to build. That's an exhaustive amount of time. And then running numbers and then crunching financials and then doing everything. Like, yes, it looks good on paper and it's incredible, but it is an exhaustive effort. But that's why aligning yourself with the right sponsors, because when I'm too busy to handle it, Connor takes care of it for me. If I need to, leveraging your upline for any of the new agents on here, you don't have to do what I've done. You've got savage beasts above you that have already done it, right? So if somebody comes to me and says, well, I'm thinking of joining this team, they've got 3,000 agents or 2,500 agents. Cool, I've got Pat Hayes. Oh, I'm thinking of joining this team. They know more about investing and I'm an investor. Cool, I've got Connor. Or, whatever angle they come at me with, I've got something better. And I think it's important to understand, guys, that the rev share is not just about your downline. You're the summation of the 7 people above you. And we have a luxury at our group that you will not find at any other group at EXP. We can actually get in touch with our upline. Like, understand, do not take it for granted that you guys can text Pat and get a response. Because if you're at any of the other big heavy hitting teams and you try and text somebody 4 levels above you, you ain't getting a response. You're not jumping on a call. Yes, the summation of the 7 people above you, with a huge caveat, so long as you can actually leverage them. Leverage the shit out of the people above you. It's like a new agent leveraging their brokerage stats at a listing presentation because you've never done one. Every single time you talk to an agent, it's a listing presentation. Leverage your stats above you. And when you want to build out scalable systems, the reason why I can very easily support the agents that are coming into my group is because, again, I've been very methodical and intentional with how I map out my plan. I only allow agents to book calls to join our group from Tuesday to Thursday from noon until 4 p.m. That's it. That's all. Outside of noon to 4 p.m. on Tuesday to Thursday, the rest of my calendar is reserved for a custom link where any agent on my team can book a call with me and I will sit down and I will support them one-on-one. I've never missed a call. I've never been late for a call, right? So building out systems that align with your business. But again, yeah, it might suck. And I'm not saying rev share has to be your focus. If your focus is 100% production to capitalize on Icon, that's the perfect angle for you. But if you care about rev share, you have to realize that this is a marathon that you have to sprint, right? For example, to give you guys an analogy of why runners win. If I told Tyler to go run 5 miles, he would pace himself. If I told Tyler to run across the other side of the room, he would sprint. The problem is we have no idea how long this marathon is. So you have to treat every single day like you're running to the other side of the room, because you have no idea when the potential is going to start to plateau. So get in, run hard, because if you do that today over the next 2 years, you will set yourself up for financial freedom like you never could have dreamed of. But if you pace yourself and you think, oh, EXP's got 10 years of incredible growth, I can have this conversation next week, or I can, take my time with this because there's so many agents, there's not. Because the agent that might talk to you today is joining me or somebody else tomorrow, right? So run hard and build out a plan.
Love it, man. Some massive knowledge bombs right there, guys. Hey, hope you guys are taking notes. I see a lot of people writing all these golden nuggets down. I love it. And again, we still have 99 people on. It's
hey, Pat, I want to bring Connor on.
Yeah,
Connor. But hey, share a little bit about your journey with EXP Realty, because you've been behind the scenes with Mike. I've been behind the scenes with you and Chris and Pat, and it's pretty incredible what you've done. I mean, gosh, you're like a little brother to me. Pat's like a little brother to me. But share a little bit about your journey with EXP, because we worked on you for 1.5 years and you told us to go kick rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I blew it off for well over a year. Is once again, not getting the right information, and it is partly on my side, not giving you guys the opportunity to give me the information. And then, one of the things we brought up early in here is the support of the uplines. So you guys were the only organization that I met with. The other organizations were offering me bribes, doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And you guys said, let's hop on a call with every single partner above you. So I sat on calls with Chris, Ian, Pat, Scott, Tracy, Rob, and Gene. So it's the only team that everybody got on a call and spent time with me. And so when you guys are interviewing, or when you're working with agents and you're prospecting, you're doing your communication process with them, this is a live testimonial of what it's going to look like when they partner with you. So you're doing what you're doing right at that moment to say, this is what I'm going to do for you when you partner with us. And what they're having on the other side is someone sends them a video and says, watch this video when you tell me when you want to come make me money. So guys, videos don't attract agents, agents attract agents. So the more you know, the more you're going to grow. Just like Mike said, the better you can communicate the business model and point out what's for them, how this is going to change their life, keep a future vision for them of something better than they currently have. If you can break that current habit of what they're doing right now, and that's done by future pacing, putting something in the future better for them, they're going to come on over here. And that's done by math. So what we don't talk about a lot is that we dig into math numbers over and over and over, because people make decisions out of emotion until you bring math into the picture. And then it's hard to make a decision when you know you're losing money, because if you don't, you hate money. And if you're in business, you're into it to make money for a better life. But they kept following up with me. And what happened to me was I went to Jackson, Mississippi, and I was speaking at a big event, a big owner financing event. And at like 1 a.m, a guy walks in the room, and you guys may know this guy. His name is Rob Flick. And he walks in there, and he's like, well, sitting down, all tired, all run down, traveling all day. And he starts asking me about me. This is like 1 a.m. He's talking to me for like an hour about myself and why I'm there and why I'm speaking. And then I gave him the door open for him to go into EXP, because I was like, well, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm talking about EXP at this event. And I was like, oh crap. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, how do I, tell this guy I got to go to sleep? I've already been approached with EXP by like 1,000 people. I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. And then he went on to show me the cloud. And then I revisited. I came back and sat down with Ian and met with Rob back in Dallas at one of Rob's lunch and learns. And then that process started, and I met with Pat, met with Scott, met with all these individuals. And then I realized that this was a no-brainer, and the rest is history. It's coming in. Is that what you were hoping, Ian?
Love it.
But also, like Mike, what Mike was saying is people don't realize the time that you've put into this, like the traveling, the long hours, like the months that you were not sleeping in your bed, you were sick, you were down, and we're your brothers. We're like, Connor, slow down, man. Yeah. Go to the doctor. I mean, you were having problems with vision and exhaustion and all this. Connor was working his ass off to build this thing. I've never seen anybody up until Mike run as hard. It's just unbelievable. It's like, oh my gosh, bro, like just calm down. And you're like, no, man, this is a sprint. We got to knock this out.
Well, it's a race for market share. So you have to be what's called aggressively patient, which means you're patient for success and for delayed gratification, but you work aggressively every day to go get it. And yeah, guys, most people, I've taken a little pace off now. I do a lot of team support, but in the beginning, I was running around trying to build footprints in all the different markets around the country. So there's months where I didn't stay in my bed but one night at my house. There's many nights where I was laid on the bathroom floors throwing up for food poisoning and having to go speak in front of 20 people, literally throwing up as I'm walking into events to speak in front of crowds. So this is the stuff that you're going to have to pay the sacrifice to do that nobody talks about and that you're not going to see. I mean, I've slept in the beds of the children of most of these partners of mine. I know their dogs' names. I traveled the country. I looked at them in the eye, and when you're willing to go make that effort and fly across the country and say, I support you, if you do more for others than they ever do for you, they'll always follow you. So if you guys are having attrition issues, it's because you're not treating your agents the way that they need to be treated, and you need to lead by example, and the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So,
and there's been times Connor and I have had calls with agents literally at Sunday at midnight. Like, this is no joke. There's no days off, because if it's convenient for that person, we're making it happen. And again, this is a race.
Yeah. I mean, we did a call last night at like 10 o'clock, and both Mike and I had already been working 16 hours that day. So this is an opportunity that you guys have to go get. It's there to get it, but you have to want it. And you're not going to get what you want. You're going to get what you deserve. And if you're not putting the time in, I told Ian yesterday that I put 11,000 hours into building this. So it didn't just happen. You guys just don't see what's happening behind the scenes, but people are out there working aggressively all day, every day to build this, and their numbers are just popping up there, and you'll see a snapshot, but you're not seeing the sacrifice it took to go get it. And that's the word I'm going to leave it with you guys, that you're going to have to sacrifice something if you want freedom in the future.
Absolutely. And I'll never forget this too. I guess it was the last 4th of July. I'm at the beach with my family, and I get a text message from Connor. Hey, you got 30, 45 minutes or so, man. I got this whale in California. He wants to do a quick 3-way phone call. Are you good? What did I say? Absolutely. Give me 20 minutes. Let me just get the kids settled. Let me get Angel settled. I'll walk to my truck. I'll hop in the car, or hop in the truck and do the 3-way phone call. What do? We talked to this agent for over an hour. And what did he decide to do? Join EXP.
Yep. I remember that call.
Yeah. Talk about sacrificing on the 4th of July.
Pat was on the damn beach, man. Pat just got off a boat, and he sacrificed his vacation time, literally hat, sunglasses, and all. This is what it takes. And I think people just think that, people like myself or anybody that's growing quick just have this magnet that draws people to them. That's a result of endless years of work, but B, that takes the time that you need to capitalize on this opportunity. And I hope everybody understands that, you've got two options. And the reason why I'm so passionate about sharing this model is it's the same thing that, why I got such good results when I door knocked. right? The majority of people, when they door knock, they go out and in their mind, they have this limiting belief that they're soliciting. So because of the fact that they feel like they're soliciting, they come across as solicitational, and then they don't get the right results. Whereas with me, I knew that if I was going to door knock and anybody decided to work with me, I was going to go above and beyond anybody else in my city to get their home sold. I knew that I was going to be the best person for the job. So I went out and door knocked with passion and with value. The same thing with EXP, right? If you go out and you feel like you're annoying agents, you're bugging agents, you're frustrating agents because they've heard of it 7 times, that's exactly how you're going to come across. If you go across and talk to an agent and realize that you've got the opportunity to change their life right now because they didn't hear about the model properly, you are going to lead with more value that helps them change their life. And that's it. And for me, there's been people that haven't joined me that I've talked to that will join me because I know that you're either A, going to join me, or B, you're going to sit back, you follow me on social media, you're going to see me build an empire, and at some point you're going to regret not joining and you'll join. So it's either join today or realize you just missed out on 6 figures and join next year. I don't care when you join, but You're coming. So pick your time.
Love it. Love it. And I always like to say the phrase that that Ian has coined, you know, they're all joining us. They just don't know. They just don't know. They're all coming. They just don't know. Right. This is going to happen, guys. And this is absolutely unbelievable. You know, whenever we all say life changing, this is truly, truly life changing, you know, and I say that in my presentation all the time. I say that whenever I'm talking to agents all the time. I say that whenever I'm on my Zoom calls, one-on-one phone calls. This is a life changing opportunity. And these agents look at me like deer in the headlights, like you're crazy. And then I share my numbers. I share my success. And I'm not sharing those numbers to brag. I'm sharing those numbers to motivate and to prove to them that I can't go do this anywhere else other than EXP. And that's why I'm here at EXP, right? And guys, you've all, you know, chosen to be here. I know we've got a lot of special guests on here as well too, but this is family. You know, this is one team, one dream, Team EXP. We are here to help every single body win because we want to help that agent count to get to 400,000 agents, to 500,000 agents, to 1 million agents. Brent Gove thinks that that EXP is going to be at 1 million agents in the next, 7 to 10 years. And I think he's right. I think he is right. And he's helping us to get there as well too. And we're all here to help you, get there as well too, right? So just like what Ian says, hey, they're all coming. They just don't know it yet. They're all coming. They just do not know it yet, man. And Mike, I just wanted to say, man, thank you so much. And maybe we can open it up. We got a few minutes here. I definitely respect everybody's time. I've got another call at 10 o'clock. I've got to hop on. But let's maybe open it up for maybe 1 or 2 questions. Who wants to ask Mike a question? Don't be shy. And here you go, Mike.
I got a question. So I just joined your team, a couple weeks ago. So brand new agent, no experience in real estate, ran my own digital marketing business. That's why I joined your team versus this other dude that was approaching me that just sent me a video that I actually knew for 10 years. And he's pissed that I didn't join his team, but he said, call me when you get licensed, right? And I was like, no, I want to know now because I don't like to waste time. So as a new agent with no stats, I got a couple, I told you with running some ads this week that I got some leads and some buyers I'm working with. But why I joined EXP is revenue share. I've been running my own business for 12 years. I don't want to have to be that person at the business all the time. So I like the revenue share model. So as a new agent with 3 weeks experience, where can you start to focus on that? I've been doing the videos and stuff, but without wasting time. What's the most important thing to focus on?
Definitely. So if you're focusing on people, I see Timothy Young mentioned here, your network, right? If you've been in the digital marketing space, if you've, engaged with other agents, you have to leverage your warm audience first. The biggest mistake people make is they start flooding DMs to all these people they've never heard of or downloading lists of people and firing off a cold email. You have to start with your warm audience first. But also because you're in the digital marketing experience, you've got a really cool competitive advantage, which is what I did. I put out content specifically to what I know agents care about. And when they watch that content and know that they can get all of that and more for free by partnering with us specifically, that's when they're going to join. And then from there, it's about edification, which is what Connor talked to me about. Just because you're a new agent, you can leverage my stats. You can leverage Connor's stats. You can leverage the value proposition we've all built out because you've inherited it. So I would, you and I can line up a call this weekend or next week if you want and build out a plan for the marketing side of things. But it's important to leverage your warm audience, leverage your unique value proposition, which to some is production, to yours and mine, it's marketing, branding, and content, and then start to leverage those above you to make you seem larger than life.
All right, thanks.
Love it. Great question. Great answer. All right, we got time for about one more. So who's got a question for Mike?
Hey, Pat, this is Sasha Alexander Gurevich from New York. Thank you so much for putting this together. I really appreciate it.
Man, thanks for joining us.
Yes, Mike, thank you so much for your authenticity. Now I understand where the beautiful and amazing feedback and reviews are coming from. Thank you for your authenticity. It's so much value that I'm learning here. I remember you said you were learning from Connor when you started at the beginning. Is there any way to see you in action, or learn the scripts that you're using? If you have any scripts, I understand that you're listening to people, but is there any way to see you in action, some kind of videos that could improve the value proposition to the agents?
Yeah, definitely. Like if you look at my YouTube channel, and again, that video is 6 months in AGL, or any of the videos where I talk about EXP explained, you'll see how I talk about the key talking points about EXP, and you'll see the feedback on there. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know this. Wow, that's so impressive. It's all out there for people to R&D, rip off and duplicate. So you can definitely check that stuff out, because I've put it out there for others to learn from. But again, it's definitely comes down to the more at bats, the more you're going to win. The reason why I picked up the model so quickly is because I flooded Connor with 30 people in 30 days, to the point where I had no opportunity but to learn every nuance of this model. It's like, if you're not that good at listing presentations, get more freaking listing presentations. If you're not good at presenting the model, present it more. Start doing a live call every evening. Do whatever you can to get more at bats, because that people will start to ask you questions and objections that you never thought of. The only way you're going to get those answers is if you continue to do more presentations, right? I've learned more than anything because people ask me something at a fucking left field, and then I have to go find that answer. But it's something I never even expected or thought of, right? But it's just because of the volume of conversations that has allowed me to hone in the skill to cater this model to anybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Love it. Love
Pat,
it.
I want to say something real quick. Yeah, so one of the things I think people underlook, and what I think Mike's biggest success is he truly legitimately cares for his partners in the future of their success. And when you sit down with someone, you need to know that that person cares for you, that they're going to believe in you, that that person believes in themselves, and they believe in what they're doing, because a lot of it is conviction in the way that you deliver the words that you're saying. Because a lot of times people like Sasha, you're bringing up scripts. It's not so much what you're saying, but how you say it. And that's underlying under the surface. And if people don't believe that you're going to bring them in with good intents, and you're putting a notch on the belt, and they don't really, or they're not going to get the support from you once you come in, they're not going to join you. So you have to demonstrate the value that you're going to bring to someone, and that they can believe that you're going to do it. And then when they come in, you have a second part of the business. You have the whole front side of the business, but then the back side of the business, one of the reasons why Mike's growing so quick is because I think, Mike, how many agents have you lost? Like 2 or something like that? You have the highest retention as well as I've seen. And that comes from you pouring into your agents and you caring about your agents. And that's very important to understand, guys. You have to have attraction and retention. And so if you bring people in a way that you're misleading them, they're going to leave you later. So you have to do what you say you're going to do, under promise, over deliver, and then support these agents when they come in.
The quick thing before we dip off, because Connor taught me this, and it's super important for you guys to understand, because I know we have to go. 10-45-45, right, Connor? This is what most people don't understand about communication. 10% of communication is the words or the copy that you're using. 45% of communication is the conviction in which you convey that message. And 45% is the nonverbal communication, right? The body language. So you guys will see in my YouTube videos, I'm very interactive. You can hear me on these calls. I'm very passionate. I'm very confident about every single thing that I say. That's what's going to help you. Don't just focus on the 10% of the words that you have to say. Focus on the 90% of the stuff that's not related to the words that actually seal the deal.
Love it, man. That was fire, guys. What'd you guys think? Good stuff, right? I know we're at the top of the hour. That was unbelievable, Mike. And, Paul, I just wanted to say thanks so much for being a special guest. Now you see what we're doing. This is truly family. I hope we're able to work together, and this is absolutely amazing. We're having so much fun, just like what Gene Frederick says. EXP is making real estate fun again, and we're having a lot of damn fun over here. And I love doing these calls on Fridays, and I can't wait till our call next Friday. You guys go out and have a great weekend. Mike, I just want to say thanks so much for the golden nuggets. Thanks so much for being a leader. Thanks for your inspiration. I mean, you're truly inspiring. You inspire me. You inspire a lot of others. And you're just an amazing leader, man. Thanks so much for being you. Thanks so much for being on the call. Thanks so much for being a special guest. You absolutely killed it. You set a record. Another 100 plus agent webinar, Zoom webinar here. We're recording it. We're live streaming it on Team Disruptor. And I just wanted to say, guys, thanks so much for, spending an hour with us this morning. You guys go out, have a great weekend. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Have fun, relax a little bit, and kick it off next Monday. And I'll see you back here next Friday. Ian, thanks so much. Connor, thank you, bro. Thanks for being an amazing leader. Ian, thank you for everything. Chris, thanks for everything. You guys go out, have fun. God bless. Love you guys. Take care.